On 17th May 2023, PVR Inox, the largest multiplex chain in India, reported the closure of 50 loss-making cinemas in the next 6 months. While the company executives were optimistic about an upward trend in the coming quarters, I, as a movie theatre fan, was worried. So let's get the obvious reasons behind this out of the way. OTT platforms have provided not just better quality content but also more creative control to the makers. They have provided many more avenues of unfiltered creativity but are still not able to justify the low pay scales. Anyway, when you book a movie ticket, that is not the only expense. You will buy popcorn, snacks, and a parking ticket and also pay the fuel cost to reach the cinema. And if you are not using your own vehicle, the cost of booking a cab or taking the bus or metro will also add up to the total expense of watching a movie at the cinema hall. Recently, Tridit Mandal, who is the creative head of the Quint, posted a tweet about the exorbitantly high prices of cheese popcorn and Pepsi at a PVR cinema in Noida. He pointed out that he spent 820 rupees for buying just 55 grams of cheese popcorn and 600 ml of Pepsi, which is very much close to paying for an Amazon Prime subscription. His tweet went viral and his concern was equally expressed by saying that getting a Prime Video subscription would be better, and these price hikes on food at cinemas is one of the primary reasons why people prefer OTT platforms. Now, some of them did point out that if you are going to a multiplex, you have to expect certain amount to be paid for food, but a few days later, PVR Inox replied to this tweet with something that seemed to bring a huge relief for movie theatre fans. The multiplex chain announced that from Monday to Thursday for shows between 9 am to 6 pm, you can buy a few items for Rs 99, which include a burger, samosa, and a combo of 450 ml Pepsi with a sandwich. And for weekends, you get the option of a bottomless 810 ml soft drink with a 240 gram popcorn. Now, in this post, the pricing of the weekend offer was not mentioned, so I asked a friend who runs this YouTube channel, I Just React and Review, regarding the pricing for this offer at a PVR. He lives in Bhopal and he told me that to get this offer, you have to pay 810 rupees and 20 rupees extra for cheese popcorn. And on average, the ticket prices go between 200 to 400 rupees at a PVR Inox or Cinepolis on weekends. So this means that you will have to pay somewhere around 1000 to 1200 rupees. And my calculations may be slightly off, but you get the point. Also, R. Madhavan pointed out that the lack of infrastructure like parking space is also one of the big reasons behind movie theaters shutting down. However, I still feel that these are not the only reasons why movie theaters are dying in India. Now, before I begin sharing my subjective opinions, let me say that whatever I say is just a hypothesis and not something absolute. The content of this video is open to interpretation and discussion, so whatever I say or feel is just my opinion, and it is not necessarily the ultimate truth. And I would love for you to engage in this conversation. The comment section is all yours. So I believe there are 5 reasons why movie theaters are dying in India. Number 1 is decision fatigue. After 2020, a lot of projects that were pending to be completed or released got the chance to finally show up in the theaters, and that is why we can notice a lot of major Indian and international releases almost every week. And when you have so many options, you might end up experiencing decision fatigue. Let me give you an example of the IMAX theaters whose popularity is growing rapidly in India. There are many more films coming to IMAX, not just international but also Indian movies are being promoted to be experienced in IMAX. And that is clearly because of the increasing preference of booking an IMAX ticket in advance, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks in advance. But here again, you can also experience decision fatigue. For example, recently Across the Spider-Verse and Flash were released in IMAX, and there was a good gap of 2 weeks between the two releases. But then came Transformers Rise of the Beast, which was released between the two films. Now, if you like going to IMAX theaters, I'm sure it won't be possible for many of us to watch all 3 films in IMAX. So I think there is a maximum probability of selecting to just watch one film in IMAX for that month, because an IMAX ticket price can start from 400 rupees and can go up to 1200 or 1300 rupees if you are getting a recliner. This means that one or the other theaters are going to have lower number of bookings for the other 2 films, and this ultimately leads to most of the folks not going to the theater and rather just spending time at home during the weekend. And this will be the same for non-IMAX theaters, which takes me to my second reason: too many theaters in close vicinity. This is something that was pointed out by Rachit Agarwal on Twitter, and it kind of makes sense. In a statement to NDTV, Ajay Bijli, the MD of PVR Inox, said that PVR and Inox opened 168 new screens in 30 cinemas across the country and plan to add 150 to 175 more screens. And the effects are already visible in the real world, especially where I live, in Delhi NCR. There are 3 multiplexes, 3 in the vicinity of just 3 kilometers. And this means that the overall possibility of every movie theater filling up and running in profits is going to be quite low. In fact, there are a lot of folks out there who don't even go to the movie theaters anymore. And this is because of the next reason behind why movie theaters are dying in India: work from home. The reason why OTT platforms have gained such a huge significance is due to the fact that after 2020, a large population of India started working from home. Right now, everything is back to normal, and working from home is the new normal, which provides convenience and comfort. But this convenience has also brought a shift in the mindset of the viewers to a considerable amount, which has led to a decreasing preference for going to the theaters. But wait, I know what you will say. भाई हम हर बार थिएटर थोड़ी ना देखने जाएंगे हर पिक्चर को, और हर पिक्चर अच्छी भी नहीं होती. हर पिक्चर बाहुबली, KGF, पुष्पा, पठान, RRR नहीं होती. दोस्त, मैं तुम्हारी बात से थोड़ा सा अग्री करता हूँ कि हम हर पिक्चर थिएटर में नहीं देख पाएंगे और हर फिल्म अच्छी नहीं भी होती है. बट माई क्वेश्चन इज दैट इज इट इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर एवरी फिल्म टू बी अ स्पेक्टिकल लाइक बाहुबली, KGF और पठान? I'm sorry, but I don't agree with this because of my next reason behind why movie theaters are dying in India, and I like to call this the spectacle fever. Now, I'm not saying that you should not watch spectacles at all, but don't you think that for every film that receives a houseful booking in theaters, it has to be a spectacle? Right now, Oppenheimer and Barbie tickets are selling like hotcakes, and I'm sure the entire weekend is sold out in IMAX. At least in Delhi NCR, that is the case. But that was not the case with past lives. Yes, I agree that not every film is meant for everyone, but in order to make that happen, does every film need to be qualified as a spectacle? I mean, there are so many stories that are waiting to be witnessed on the big screen by the masses, and I'm sure that the people who are telling these stories are equally excited to receive a theatrical release, but unfortunately only they end up watching them in theaters and nobody else does. Nobody cared about Cello Show, Sia, Zwigato, Sherdil, and many more such exquisite works of art because they are not glittery enough to be called a spectacle. But you know what? Even while watching spectacles, there are some who don't care. They will choose to pay attention only when something extraordinary or action-packed is happening on the screen. It is like making movies has become equivalent to making YouTube videos. You have to maintain the retention graph, you have to place a cut after every 5 seconds, you have to stuff your story with transitions and animation. Why? Why is this happening? I believe the answer to this is the lack of attention span, which is my last reason why movie theaters are dying in India. Thanks to social media, we are now glued to our screens because of continuous dopamine hits, one swipe after the other. When I go to the theaters, I see a lot of people watching films not from their eyes, but from the viewfinder of their Instagram story. Now, I don't want to sound preachy, but I just think that the smartphone screen time is more than the time we choose to devote to the movie screen. And this definitely worries me, and I just thought I would share it with you. Now, if you have watched this video till the end, without skipping any section, I am glad that you made this choice. Thank you so much for your attention, and let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on this topic. I will see you soon with the next video. Till then, thank you so much for watching. My name is Porush, and as always, long live cinema.